Hi, welcome back to Cleethorpes yet again. We've got the Mini 2 with us today. We've already flown the Xeno 1, the Fimi X8 SE 2020, it's basically the day of the drones, and the Xeno 2 Plus, which unfortunately we're a little disappointed with. We don't know if it's a bad batch or a bad one. Certainly there was something wrong with the propeller a little bit, the motor there. Maybe it's a bad one, but I felt like the software didn't feel right to me. It's a different app from the original Xeno. They look the same, but I don't know, it just didn't feel up to it. So basically, I just want to check settings on the old, yep, we've got everything set, 4K 30, plus record. You always want to get this drone off the ground before a dog runs up and sort of eats it, because it is, I got it in cine mode. I'll stick it back in normal. Ooh. Yeah, normal mode. A little bit funny there. Right, got to get it off the ground. You never know when a dog's going to come. But yeah, I mean, it's a pleasure to fly this, these DJIs really. They just hold their position in the air so well. They're just amazing really. They just, you know, yeah, I mean, I love the Fimi X8 SE 2020. I wasn't impressed with the Xeno 2 Plus, maybe, I don't know, maybe a bad one, but yeah, I don't know, I just really like these DJIs. They just hold their position. You can see how it holds perfectly. You know, I don't think any other drone company quite gets them. Maybe Autel, I don't know, I haven't tried them, but basically just really good. So let's take it up and let's see how it handles the sort of windy seaside conditions which we've got. Another thing to say about the Xeno 1 was it was great, but it struggled with the sort of like battery life. You know, the battery life just isn't very good on them. Right, yeah, so we're getting a good view of the seashore, so we're just going to go down there. I don't think we've got waypoint modes, have we, on the Mavic Mini? I don't know if we have. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, we have. Yeah, don't think we've ever tried them out, but you can sort of zoom in, and can we add modes in? Hang on, here we go. Draw. Is that draw? I don't know. No, I don't know if you can. Maybe it's just a. What's this? Yeah, it's just home. It's just telling you what's going on, isn't it? I don't think there's any options. Just telling you what's going on the map, basically. Anyway, you know, so that's the only thing with the Mini 2 is you don't get some of the advanced features they get on the bigger drones. That, you know, but basically you do get. So I want to make that map smaller. But you do get quite a refined software experience. Which you don't get so much on the Xenos. The Fimis is pretty good. You don't get active track with this. You don't get the ability to kind of track you around. The Xeno 1 has an option to do it from your controller, but we struggled to do that. We tried it out on the Xeno 2 Plus, but it didn't quite, you know, it doesn't know which way to position itself. The active track worked and it did track me and kind of move around with me, so that was okay. But the big problem with the Xeno 2s were it was around the fact that the SD cards didn't quite work. You need a U3 SD card to record in 4K 30, 4K 60, but we had all that and it didn't seem to make no difference. It didn't recognize it as fast enough. We had a Samsung Evo SD card in there. We've used that with Sony cameras, you know, things that record in 4K 60, GoPros, never had a problem. So I think it's just it's a Hubsan thing, it's a Hubsan problem. So yeah, Xeno 1, battery life a bit funny. Mini 2 should get you quite good battery life. I've never felt like I haven't been able to do what I need to do with these drones. It is a little cold out today, so maybe that doesn't help. I mean, the Xeno is quite, the Mini 2 is quite slow, so I'm going to go into sports mode and see if we can just speed it up. Sort of gives it a bit more of an aggressive speed. We're getting 15.6 meters a second. What I was set up to 16 now. Yeah, it's booting it along. Sports mode not bad on this actually. I would recommend it. Look at that. And you know what? We haven't had a wind warning yet. and we are easily sailing past the pier, and there's not a moan about, you know, it's not moaning about the length, it's not moaning about the controller. It's going down there no problem. We're really, this is today actually, this has gone the furthest. The Fimi X8 SE didn't get as far down as this, and we certainly saw breakup in the FPV, and this is not seeing any breakup that I can see. So pretty happy with that in sports mode. So I'm pretty, yeah, that's pretty good. Right, I'm going to turn it round. The only thing is, of course, it yaws round like a crazed loon. I've seen other reviewers get nicer sweeping shots, even in normal mode. So I wonder if they've done something to the settings to improve the kind of turn. You know, more than likely. Let's pick the camera up. What I want to do is bring it back down, go down around the salt plains here. Is that what they're called, Rach? Salt plains?
Salt marsh.
Salt marsh. And we just want to kind of sweep over here. It's a shame the sun's gone in a bit now. The previous videos we were able to kind of fly around, we had better sun, but it's getting near strong wind warning straight away. But you know, that's the first one. That's the first strong wind warning we've had, so you know. But there's something, you know, there's something about the Mini 2 and the Fimi that you kind of feel like you can trust those drones. You can trust them to do a good job. So I'm gonna drop down a little bit and just get down to like 30 meters or something. You know, get below that like kind of big wind. I mean, it must be windy here because behind us is loads of wind farms. So you know, it must be a good spot for wind. So yeah, we're just sweeping along the beach. If you can see anything going on. Yep, so it's coming along, it's doing a good job basically. But yeah, I mean, today, yeah, we've flown 4 different drones, including this one, and you know, so far the one that handled everything the best was probably the Fimi X8. That basically flew around no problem, plenty of battery life in it. You know, just a great drone. This is obviously a bit smaller. It's going to struggle with wind. You know, in fact, this is the worst wind warnings I've had with this Mini 2 drone. I didn't have a lot of bad wind warnings on the you know, like on the Mavic Mini 1. You basically send it up in like the perfect quiet day and it would just be completely and utterly blowing around. But this one, it does seem to be improved. I think we're over the salt marshes now. So I come down, I want to just get my bearings back. Let's get it back in normal mode. Let's turn it back round, because what you want to do is pick out the leisure centre there, because we're over that way. Yeah, so it's a very capable drone, you know, it's just very, very capable. I just, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's your money, isn't it? You know, you're going to buy something that does a good job, or you're going to buy something that basically, you know, you just, you know, the Xeno 2, I kind of just felt like, you know, that was a decision I made when I started this channel. What do I go for? Do I go for a Fimi X8? Do I go for a Xeno 2? And it's very hard to make a choice, because it's not like you can go and see these drones in the shops. You know, they're not, you know, they're kind of mostly on Amazon, Banggood, those sort of places. Yeah, it's flying around no problem here. But basically, you know, they're not as, you know, they're not kind of mainstream as such, are they? So basically, the cool thing about the, you know, the DJIs is you kind of, lots of people got them. There's a lot of videos of them, so you can, you know, it's quite easy to find out information about it. The problem you've got with the Xenos is you don't really have that. But you know, I don't know, for me the Xeno didn't impress me as much as I thought it was going to. I thought I was going to like go, oh no, I bought the wrong drone to begin with. You know what I mean? I'm just flying this Mini around, like around the salt marshes here while I'm talking to you. But yeah, basically, I don't know, yeah, the Mini 2, the Fimi X8 SE so far, they've both been, you know, I'm so glad that those are the drones that I had first and that I've done most of my videos with, although I did some mostly with the Mini 1. But I just feel like they're, you know, if I just bring it, you know, the Mini 2 is great as well, because it's under the like 250 gram weight bracket, and it just flies like, you know, perfect. Look at that, flying past Emily and Rachel, flying around the salt marsh, no problem. And I just, you know, it's just a pleasure to fly it. It's a pleasure to kind of, you know, but I had a similar experience earlier with the Fimi X8. It's just a much bigger drone, and I tend to have a few issues around the film record, you know, like the film quality on it. I'm just not completely convinced. Like sometimes the sun reflects off the propellers. I haven't really seen that with a Mavic drone. You know, we've got a Mavic Air 2, we've got a Mavic Mini 1, a Mavic Mini 2, and I just haven't seen that kind of, you know, reflection. You know, I've never seen the propellers kind of cause a problem on the video, and you know, we definitely have had that with the Fimi quite a few times. But apart from that, capable drone, you can get it up in the sky, it will fly really well. You know, and of course it's great for getting like orbit shots around big objects in wind. We did the top of Buzzludger, if you remember. And yeah, I mean the Mavic Mini though, pretty cool. At this low level, it's not really kicking off about the wind, so that's pretty cool. So we're zipping around this beach, and we're having no problems with it. So the only thing I don't like is out of the box, it just kind of turns. It's kind of like a step, you know, and I don't really like that. I'd like it to be quite smooth, and I thought the Xeno kind of turned a bit better. Maybe even the Fimi turns a bit better, but yeah, I don't know, it just doesn't feel 100%. So it should be flying back in at us now. You know, basically it's coming round. Yeah, it's going well. Alright, and it's quite manoeuvrable. I'd say the Fimi was a little bit more manoeuvrable than this. Maybe if I stick it in sports mode. I just thought the Fimi was turning amazingly well. You know, it's really, this drone, it's turning pretty well now, I'd say. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it's definitely right. But yeah, basically you're getting really good. Yeah, it's turning no problem now. Sports mode seems to sort of zip it up quite a bit, whereas with the Fimi, I thought like even in normal mode, and the Zino probably even in normal mode, it was zipping around. So yeah, I don't know. I mean the Xeno 2, it zipped around okay on the salt plains when we tried it, but yeah, just issues around the recording. You know, you'd spend half your day trying to get your SD card working, and I just think you can't have that with you know, your time's precious when you're coming out. You know, you can't have, you just can't do it. There we go. Woo! There we go. I mean, it really is zipping around no problem, and I really can't wait to see the footage from today, really, in general. I know you guys will probably be watching it over several weeks, but basically, you know, I can't wait to see the footage of these drones kind of zipping across the salt plain. It's great because we haven't really had that. It's asking to return now. It's going to be returning back. So yeah, we'll let it return basically. But we do have an additional battery actually, so we can stick another battery in it and get it going again. If I can go and get the battery. But yeah, basically that should be returning home. It doesn't have intelligent landing like the other drones, but anyway, 2 seconds. Basically, yes, yeah, so you haven't got the, this is why you need more batteries really. This is why you need additional batteries. But when this comes back, which it should be doing, hopefully, should be coming back to us now. I'll just put that down there by the camera. But yeah, it should be low battery returning home, so it wasn't too far away, I don't think. So the trouble is it goes up to like a, you know, they go up to a high height and to come back down again. And the reason for that is it doesn't want to hit into something. If you've lost like control of your drone and you can't see it, then the idea is it goes up to a high height and comes back down again. So in a safe manner. Basically, so because obviously if it goes up to 50-60 meters, there's going to be nothing for it to hit up there when it's, you know, when it's coming back to land, because it doesn't have obstacle avoidance. You know, none of the drones we've tried today have obstacle avoidance. For that you need like a Mavic Air, and like that's the kind of drone that you can fly straight at the wall and it'll kind of like, it'll stop you. So this thing's coming back down. It's to give you a better view than the leisure centre. Basically it should be coming back down. I don't know where it's going to land. It doesn't have intelligent landing. That's the only thing with the Mini 2. It's just missing some of those core features that you get on the Air 2 and that the Fimi gives you. You know, if there's any argument for the Fimi over the Mini 2, it's the intelligent features like the motion, like the tracking of people, although they don't work as well as the Mavic Air. It's the intelligent landing, so like being able to find its pad, which this one can't do, but the Fimi can and is pretty good at it. The Xeno 2, we tried landing 3 times. I don't think we got anywhere near the pad. But anyway, basically the only problem with this drone is it's quite a small footprint. It's quite a small footprint, so it's quite a small footprint, so you want to get it on your pad. If you don't get it on your pad, then you're going to have, you know, it's going to get sand up in it, and that's what you don't really want. So you have to be really careful. So what we can do now is you just literally, you know, we're going to have to turn it off. So you like press it once and then press and hold. It should turn itself. In fact, we need to record. We need to stop the recording. Actually, that's quite important because this drone will not automatically, which is quite good. I think it turned itself off then. Is it not turned? Yeah, it's turned. I think it was preventing me from turning it off, so I didn't ruin my battery, which is pretty. Didn't ruin my SD card, so that's pretty good, really. So what you want to do now, slide in the new battery. I mean, they're good little small batteries, these, and then we're sorted, you know, and we go again. And I don't know what it is, but these batteries seem to hold their charge. Like you kind of like leave it for a week and they've still got like full, you know, battery almost, whereas the other ones like the Fimis, they seem to like, the battery just seems to go straight away. So hopefully it'll reconnect. You can stick it up and record again, and then we can take off again. And let's have another little sort of look around the salt flats, and there we go. I mean, you know, it's still dangerous. Obviously you shouldn't really fly at people, you know, towards Rachel, but you know, basically they're still good at you, this drone, but it's so much smaller, it's so much more maneuverable. But yeah, basically I think, yeah, Rachel there. Oh, that was my fault. It's alright, it's alright. Push the wrong button. Yeah, it looks alright. Nothing happened to it. Nothing happened to it. That's because I was pushing the wrong stick instead of the up stick. I pushed the forward stick. So yeah, be careful. Be really careful. But yeah, basically it's alright. Do you know, we took this out for a fly another time when we didn't actually film, and we hit a tree. We reversed back, and it kind of, there was trees around us, and it just was like kind of drooping trees, and it hit one of the tree branches, and it kind of clattered down, but we got it back up. And then I realized when I got home that 2 of the blades had like been, like bits had been sliced off it, and it was completely gone, but it was flying as if nothing had happened to it. So you know, I'm not saying you should fly like that. I didn't realize that it was like that, but it basically had, it still flew, and it still flew as if it was flying normally. So I mean, that's quite impressive, really. You know, so if you know, that's another plus point, I think, for the Mini. You know, and if you do get the Fly More combo, you'll get additional propellers, which I had, and I was able to change them. So I hope I haven't damaged the propellers again, because I will be replacing yet again with another set. Do you know, I never crashed a drone before then. You know, I'd never ever hit anything, and basically today and basically that time I've basically hit a couple of things. So yeah, I just want to have a look around the seashore here, just give you a view of it. Yeah, see if we're getting some nice footage, because we don't really get like cinematic footage. Just, you know, you see drone videos on YouTube and a lot of them are just music and it flying around a mountain, and they're quite nice, but of course our videos are more instructional, really. They're not really designed to, you know, kind of do cinematic shots. you know. But of course, you know, if you're buying a drone, that's probably what you're trying to get. You're probably trying to get really nice views of stuff, so and some good footage. But yeah, basically, you know, pretty happy with how this drone operates. I mean, I think that's the thing with DJIs, you know, apart from missing some features on this, you pretty much know what you're getting because it's DJI. Do you know what I mean? You're more going to be asking questions about Fimis and Xenos and those sort of cameras, but yeah, drones. But basically, you know, well, I suppose they are cameras really. But yeah, basically, yeah, I just don't think you can go wrong with a Mini 2. But I must admit, today I had a big appreciation again for my Zino, for my Fimi X8, because, you know, the Zino just didn't seem to perform. The Xeno 2 Plus, I just wasn't happy with it. I'm not sure it's just a bad batch, because I have read things about the SD cards before, so you know, it is not an uncommon thing. I just thought it probably would be fixed in a software update, and so I was a bit surprised to see that it didn't kind of do that. But yeah, you know, it's a real shame about the Xeno 2 really, because I would have expected that to be sort of more similar to the Fimi, and it just wasn't. The Fimi is just so much better. You know, I just, yeah, there was a couple of things, you know. Right, I'm going to get this to return home now. But there was a couple of things about it. It just didn't feel like it worked. You know, you're just fighting the menu options. You're trying to get it in 60 frames. I mean, the big selling point of this drone is that it can do 60 frames, and it's complaining about the kind of SD card you're using, even though it's definitely one that should work. And it's like speed too low, and I don't know, just things like that. You don't need that, you know. You just want to get out and fly, especially like in the UK, where, you know, it could be lovely and sunny like now, and then it'll go cold and dark, or it'll go wet. You need to be able to get out there, not waste your battery, not have issues with your drone really, and that's the thing, you know. And I think with the Mini 2 you're going to get that. I think it looked to me like the Xeno 1 was pretty good, apart from you probably need a lot more batteries with you. It is a cold day today, so maybe in the summer the batteries would hold up a bit better, but you're kind of going to need a few batteries, I think, for that Xeno. But with the Xeno 2 Plus, I just felt I was fighting everything, and I had tried it out the night before. I had got the software, I'd upgraded everything, I'd checked that everything was kind of, the SD cards were working, and yet on the day when I got here, didn't work. You know, usually when I've had a problem with a Fimi or a Mavic Mini or Mini 2, it's because I've forgotten something. It's because I've forgotten the SD card, or I've forgotten the phone or something, you know, and I've got to get another phone going. But with the Xeno 2 Plus, it felt like it was the software was the thing that was holding me back. Everything was prepared correctly, and it just didn't really work. And yeah, that's disappointing really. So yeah, maybe I got a bad batch. Maybe you'll see some other reviews on YouTube that show it to be better than what I found it to be. I didn't, you know, I found it to be very difficult. Right, so we're going to get it to come back down. Hopefully it will. I mean, the weird thing is, I think we spoke more about the Xeno than we have about the Mini 2 on this video. But, you know, that's what I'm saying. We're not discussing this drone because it just does its job. It's not got issues, you know. Apart from, you better be careful where it is. Right, cancel the landing. You can depend upon it, you know. You can depend upon it. If you don't fly it into your own camera, you know, you can depend upon it. Look at it, just sits in the air. It sits in the air perfectly. And the thing is, we've ended up talking more about the Xeno 2 and other drones, because this thing, you don't need to talk as much about it, because it just does what it needs to do. It's just reliable. You know, if you want my opinion, you get if it's your first drone, get one of these drones. Get this drone. The only issue with getting something like this though, if it's your first drone, is that if you do fly into something, then obviously if you break it, but you can get care and refresh package where that kind of gives you 2 replacements within a year if you damage it. I mean, DJI haven't paid me to say any of this stuff. They wouldn't, I don't think. But basically, yeah, it's just my personal preference, my personal experience of it. That was my fault. But yeah, I don't know, I just really like this drone. I really like it, and it's just a no nonsense, no fuss. I mean, looking at the propellers, I think everything's good. I don't think we've hit anything there. It looks pretty good. I think we might have hit the phone. So we might have damaged the phone a little bit, but I don't think it's damaged the drone in any way, which is a shame because the drone's probably less expensive than the phone. But basically, yeah, it's a good drone. But we need to stop the recording on there, because that's the thing with the DJIs. You do need to stop the recording at the end, or else you could corrupt your video. It doesn't stop it for you. But yeah, I just think once again, you get it out, it flies around, it gets good footage. We used up 2 batteries there. It's quite cold, maybe that's a reason for that. But yeah, I don't think you can go far wrong as a beginner. That's where I would start, to be honest. But thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed that. Hope it's been useful to you. If it has, please click like. If you want to see more videos, please click subscribe. And we'll see you again in the next one.